Hello everyone, I'm going to start playing on the assumption that everything works out okay there. Let's try and cut down on the delays at the start of the streams. Oh, there we go. Hello everyone. How's it going? Hello. I don't know if I'm going to be claiming any Pac-1s because I haven't actually played it since the last stream. I did a couple of games today just to make sure that the matchmaking times were still reasonable before streaming it again. But I haven't actually played it since before, so... I did win the first game that I played, returning to it though, so that's kind of a good sign. Kind of a bad sign. It's enjoyable to win, but it was also a little disappointing that I wasn't suffering more because, you know, I was hoping that it would be a bit harder. I'm gonna say, oh yeah, I've been thinking about the strategy a little bit though. I don't know if I was doing this before. I mean, I must have been because, like I said, I haven't streamed it. I haven't played it without streaming it. So I must have been swapping over to... So I start on Speed Knockout and then I swap to Train Hunter, I think, right? And my thinking behind this is that the reason I think that Hunter is a viable option to pick is because I think it's the kind of game where you can get worn down over time, you know? Like, if you're just constantly forced to go to the next... Well, that's a really bad start. If you're constantly forced to go to the next stage... I can't really make the mic much louder. That's about the best I can do. I'm leaning forward into it and everything. It is kind of far from me. I'll try to get it a bit closer. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I think it's the kind of game where you can get worn down over time, you know? So it's worth swapping over to Hunter instead. I did try using Counter in the few games that I played earlier today. I tried using that and it seemed to work out pretty well. So yeah, that's what I want to talk about. That's why I'm streaming now, is I think the audio is kind of fixed. Such a fucking train wreck. Somebody reminded me after the previous streams to sort it out, which was good because I had already forgotten. So I went and bought a cable, but the cable didn't work. Now that one is on me because it was a bad choice. I wasn't thinking and I bought a cable that didn't really make any sense. It's just obviously not what that port was designed to do on the TV. But I've bought another one, so it converts the optical out, and it means that it has to have fucking power. I think somebody suggested this before, so yeah, I got something like that, and I plugged it in today, and I went, okay, the sound started coming out of the headphones then, and I was like, grand, we're sorted. It's a little bit loud, you know, it's a little bit loud, so I went, okay, and then I just picked up the remote and I tried to change the volume, and nothing. It doesn't let you change the volume when you're outputting to this cable for whatever fucking reason. Presumably because it's not meant to be used for headphones, I don't know. Or maybe you're just, you know, supposed to buy headphones that have a thing on them to change the audio, but it's basically just a fucking disaster like everything else in modern life, you know? So I can't say I'm like, first of all, I'm not happy that I have to have a fucking USB powered device plugged into the TV if I want to stream just to get some fucking headphone audio. Oh yeah, and beyond that, not only does Pac-Man 99 not have an option to change the audio levels, at least that I saw, the Switch doesn't have like one either, so basically there is absolutely no way for me to change the output that I'm getting onto the headphones. So I'm not even, you might be getting some feedback. That's I'll rewatch the stream and I'll hear you might be hearing the game a little bit as well, because I don't want to wear the headphones. It's too fucking loud. So I have them kind of around my neck, and I'm getting a certain level of sound that way. This is what it's come to. Fucking disaster. Just a complete fucking disaster. I'm telling you, next time it comes time to get a TV, I'll be looking for a headphone jack, and if it doesn't have a headphone jack, I'm not fucking buying it. Like, the only reason I didn't check for one is because it seemed like such an obvious thing that every TV should have, that I didn't look for it, you know? I did research before I picked a TV. I wanted one with low lag, you know? I wanted one that had that was cheap but had a decent amount of HDR on it and all. I think I found like a good compromise TV, and it's just been a fucking nightmare, the audio situation. It's shit. So yeah, alright, I'll calm down a little bit. This might be a short stream though. I mainly just want to test and check this audio thing and play a bit of Pac-Man. I'm in the mood to play some Pac-Man, but I'm very tired. I haven't been sleeping all that well, so maybe that's why I'm grouchy. So I'll be going to bed in a while, I think. So this might be one of the short ones. We don't have a whole lot of short ones, you know. I'm supposed to be on Train Hunter now. So I mean, basically the main reason that I want sound is to alert me of when red jammer Pac-Man spawn in, so that I can sort of broaden my focus. Like, you want to basically hear the audio cue and then broaden your awareness to the whole playfield so you understand where it's just spawned in. I don't know if I can even achieve that. I'm just realizing now that I've started the stream that it's all well and good that you can kind of hear through your fucking throat, you know, but when you're talking, that obscures a lot of it. Has obscured a lot of the sound for me. I don't know, man. I just hate technology. I absolutely hate technology. The only good thing about technology is games. It's going alright. It's going alright. Thank you. It's a little quiet. I was fucking around a little bit. I might have done something to mess with the microphone. I don't think I did. Maybe that's better. Maybe that dial got nudged a little bit. There might be a USB port. I don't think the TV will output on it though. I don't know, man. There's a section on the Hollow Knight in Meta Micro Videos, which is the last video on the channel, if you haven't seen it. I don't know if it'll actually answer your question for you, but it's yeah. You missed when you could turn on your TV and didn't have to wait for it to boot up. Yeah, look, let's just lean into this now, right? I know this is what I'm known for, grouchy behavior about this stuff, but yeah, you know what I miss? It's kind of along the same lines, except it's the opposite. It's when you turn something off, right? When you turn things off these days, you have to ask their permission. You have to ask them to turn off. You have to say, will you please turn off? You have to like go into a menu and say, no, I don't want you to just sleep. I want you to turn off. Where's the fucking off switch? You know? You press the off button on the PS4 and it actually doesn't turn off. It goes into rest mode. And if you do that accidentally, God fucking help you, because that takes like a minute and then you have to turn it back on to turn it off. It's just... I hate it, man. I fucking... Oh. I fucking hate this shit. I think part of the problem is, for me specifically, is, you know... It's because my career, if you can call it a career, my career has required me to engage with this stuff more often than most people. You know, I want to make sure I get good video output, and I want to make sure, you know, everything runs smoothly so that I can record a fucking playthrough of a game without tearing my hair out. And stuff like that, and it just wears you down. You know, it just wears you down. So yeah, that's why there might be some audio feedback coming through from my fucking neck phones. I have neck phones now, right now. I feel like I'm not concentrating on the game very well. What's up, everybody? You all right? All good. I don't know if there's any patrons here. I presume there's at least one, but I hope the newest blog post was alright. I wasn't sure how... It kind of just started turning out to be about programming, so I just kind of let it be about that. I don't know. I don't know if it was worthwhile or something. I put too much time into it though. I need to do something more theoretical next time and just kind of knock it out, because I put like a couple of days into that blog post, I think. Well, I'm boned. I did not see the red jammer over the fruit, which is a big problem. Although if I can kill this guy... Yeah, that was bad. Man, I felt so much more like I was actually playing the game a few minutes ago when I played it off stream. I'm just zoned out now. Hello, John. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I didn't actually make that clear. That that thing is from TF2 blog post. I was thinking that thing about the hats is like 10 years old now, and I was wondering, is anybody even going to get this anymore? It was an old TF2 when they updated it to include hats. See the state of play for Ratchet and Clank. I didn't watch the whole thing. I kind of skimmed it. Yeah, it looks all right though. I think it scored major points with me when I don't know. I'll reveal something here. If you haven't seen it, there's like a slight reveal. At least it seemed to be a reveal. I didn't even confirm this, but there was basically, I skipped to a bit where Rivet was talking to a vendor, and she had like weapons that she didn't have before because Ratchet unlocked them, and that's one of my big, you know, pet peeves with the multiple protagonist thing, is the way it splits up your inventory and your abilities and stuff. So that was a big plus for me. If I had a PS5, I would definitely buy it. Wouldn't even be a question. Same for, well, kind of the same for Eternal. I suppose I would buy it if I had a PS5, but I think for Eternal I would prefer to play it with a mouse and keyboard. I hope to play Returnal at some point as well. I don't know much about that one either, but I like Housemarque's previous games, and it looks like the kind of shooter that I would enjoy. But yeah, so I don't know, kind of optimistic about that new Ratchet game. I think it looks alright. I do think I still don't like the idea of multiple protagonists. I actually didn't say this in my Last of Us 2 review, but like it really was no surprise that I didn't like that aspect of The Last of Us Part 2 when I've basically gone on record about this in the past. I think I talked about it all the way back in the Majora's Mask video, that I just tend not to like games where you swap protagonists all the time. And I think there are ways to do it right, like Majora's Mask, you know, where you're still playing as the one character. You have the one goal from start to finish, and you're still playing as that one character, and it's that's not quite so disruptive or strange or, you know, incongruent or whatever kind of word you want to use. But yeah, I just you know, I don't even mind that it's Rivet. Like, I would play a whole Rivet game without complaint. You know, I'm not that attached to the characters of Ratchet and Clank specifically, but swapping back and forth between them is kind of the problem for me, you know. But I do think, like I said, having the inventory shared like that is a big plus. So I should have just got this. Cut it fine there. I do think, on the other hand, though, that, like, if I was going to throw a criticism at it, I do think, again, I've watched maybe 5 minutes of footage at most, and it was all disjointed. I just skipped around until I felt like I had a feel for it and was like, right, on to the next part of this thing. But I feel like it's not the direction that I would want the Ratchet series to go, in the sense that it seems very epic and story driven and stuff. Like, the best way I think I can put this is that I think all the previous Ratchet games, there was always this big existential threat, you know? Like, it varied from game to game, and sometimes it was a bit smaller scale in that, you know, it wasn't always the entire galaxy is about to be destroyed, you know. That was, or maybe that aspect of it just kind of came in at the end of a game or whatever, right? But fuck, this fruit better spawn. I'm not killing enough trains here. Fuck off, jammers. Sorry, let me get my fee here. Yeah, so I think it's kind of not the sense that kind of not the direction I would want to go in that. Right, so what I was saying was that the previous Ratchet games had kind of like these big existential threats going on, but they weren't the best at conveying that to the, like, there wasn't a real sense of urgency to them, I think, you know. Whereas for something like, I don't know, I'd have to replay it, but for something like A Crack in Time, there's a greater sense of urgency to the plot and stuff, and probably in this new one. I don't know if I don't know. My point is just that it seems quite plot driven, and you know, pushing you along to different set pieces and things like that. And it's probably going to be a very fun game, but I think that there was something about the earlier Ratchet and Clanks that kind of worked in just a, you know, comfy space adventure sort of vibe to them, right? Where it wasn't always go, go, go. Because I went back and replayed them just recently, and I don't know, when I was younger, I really liked getting the crystals in the second game. Now I think it's kind of bloated now that I'm a bit older, but I didn't hate it. I still didn't hate it, which is kind of saying something for me, because I'm very sensitive to that kind of stuff, and it was enjoyable for a while at least. Anyway, you know, I didn't have fun going around getting every single crystal, but there was something about it that's just kind of nice, you know, like the vibe of just landing on a planet and there's not really anybody there but maybe some fucking goo monsters or something, and you just walk around and kill the goo monsters and pick up bolts, and you see the new visuals. I don't know if the new game is really going to have that vibe to it, you know. That would be the main thing I would worry about. I think it would benefit from that. I think maybe I'm totally wrong about A Crack in Time, because it did have all that stuff with Ratchet where you would go around to the little spheroid planets, and I quite enjoyed that. I think some of them were a little bit lacking and a little bit repetitive, but I do think it was the kind of thing that played to the series' strengths, where you just kind of hop on your spaceship and go somewhere new, you know? That makes sense? I don't know if that made sense. Another thing about strategy in Pac-Man, so I've started kind of, I don't know if I've been doing it on this stream, but I've started delaying my first round a little bit, right? But I must have played a little bit off stream, because I don't think I did this on stream. But there was a brief time after the last stream where I must have played a few matches by myself. Because what I started doing was I started delaying as long as possible, right? And that turned out to be a bad idea. So I think I actually kind of struck it lucky with my initial strategy of just letting the pill get close to finishing and then carrying on, because I think it's kind of like a good metronome for the kind of pace that you should proceed through the game at. Because if you leave it too long, you start getting too many red jammers in the early stages and you can't get enough speed. And it's just not a good idea. You're not getting any KOs. You don't have even the slightest chance of getting a KO. And I don't think it works all that well for you to delay as long as possible. But you want to delay just a little bit and be a little bit behind your opponents. I mean, it probably can't hurt to be ahead of them either, because when you get to round 10, the game gets significantly easier again. So that does help. But yeah, being a little bit behind seems like a good strategy. Like here, now is a good time to wait, because I have all the speed that I want. The ghosts are going to clump up and let me eliminate them all together. There's an interesting... I need to stop trying to analyze this game in real time, but there's kind of a interesting thing about this game is that I don't know how many versus games are like this, where the garbage that you send to your opponent has no benefit to them. You know, like in Tetris, when you send garbage to somebody, it creates more stuff for them to get rid of. And if the holes in the garbage rows line up, then they can just get a Tetris straight away. But there's no advantage to receiving garbage in this game, at least that I can tell. So that's, I think I like that. I think I like that more than the alternative, because when it's down to a 1v1, then you know there's no benefit to holding back or anything. You just go for it. Yeah, I wasn't sure, but thanks, Captain. Puyo garbage is worthless to the opponent. Yeah, I thought so, but I wasn't sure. It's the grey ones, right? But there's no... I mean, if you... Is it completely worthless? Or is there maybe some very slight worth in some cases? Like, if you're about to set off a chain anyway and you happen to catch some garbage in it, that probably counts for something, does it? I don't know. I don't play much Puyo Puyo. I'm crap at it, so... I always forget which one controls which. Speed knockout. That's what we want. I'm very tired. I'm very tired. We'll see if we can go an hour. I'll be happy if this stream lasts an hour. But yeah, I think I'm going to stick with this as the audio solution for now, because I just can't be bothered to... I mean, like, I could get a pair of Bluetooth headphones, but what goes wrong then, you know? Fucking... You know, like... I'll be talking and the microphone will activate and the TV will try to do something by itself or some shit, you know? Who the fuck knows what's gonna happen? After seeing the bear's ass in Alien Soldier, I can't look at the game the same anymore. Has the discovery of that bear's ass changed your view positively or negatively? Well, if I lose this round, I'm blaming it on that bizarre question. I don't even remember the bear's ass. Did I have a very poor memory. I paused it and the bear's ass was on screen, the little blue bear. Am I right about that? I'd say that's a good thing, isn't it? It's fun. What do I want? I want Train Hunter. I'm so tired. I don't know how I've been winning. I don't think that's a good sign. Maybe people moved on? I don't know. I thought it would be much harder to win now than it actually is. Thought that the meta would have caught up to me, you know? Somebody asked earlier, it's not there anymore, but I'm trying to remember a question. Somebody asked about which video do I think best conveyed my point, whether it be like an actual video or a micro video. I'm not sure. I think that's more your... Well, I suppose you can't say unless you know exactly what my point was, but... I don't know. I wish I had an answer. I don't know why I read the question now when I didn't have an answer in mind. I thought one would come to me when I started it. It's like starting a sentence. You don't, oh fuck! You don't know how to finish. I can't even remember my videos. I'm fucking tired, man. Just watch me play Pac-Man and shut up. You know how mean I can be if you interrupt my Pac-Man. Right, you're banned for making me lose. Oh, I always get confused when I see the thing before it gives you your ranking. I thought I was second there. It always makes you think that you're one higher than you are. Breath of the Wild is your most thorough vid. I do think that's a good example, yeah. I think maybe something like I've called these out before as the most Matthew Matosis videos. I'm gonna lower the headphones. They're uncomfortable here, so you might get even more feedback. The Devil Daggers and Obra Dinn videos, they feel very quintessentially Matthew Matosian. And I think whether you agree with my point or not, I think I get the point across very well in those videos. Whether you agree or not is a different matter. I feel like there must have been something else to talk about. There was some news out of the Epic thing, right? What was the news? Microsoft pays people to play Sony games and review them. I could have done that. And, I don't know. I don't know how much of this is actually a result of the trial. How much of this stuff coming out? I should say actually, because I have been quite critical about Sony lately on the streams, and their direction and stuff. While I definitely would prefer to play Returnal on PC, I consider Returnal and Ratchet two very big points in the PS5's favor. You know, you get a few more games like that, and I'm back on board again. I'm just not convinced that those kinds of games are going to keep coming. But like, if they released a couple of those games every year, then you know, in a few years I could own a PS5 and be happy with my purchase. So I think the PS5 is having a decent start. Maybe even better than the PS4 start. It was quite a while till the PS4 got Bloodborne, right? I think that was the first exclusive that actually released that I really cared about. I think somebody, maybe more than one person, asked for my thoughts on Resident Evil Village. I'm looking forward to playing it someday, but I still haven't played 7. And I really want to upgrade my computer, so stop mining crypto and let me do that. It's I'm never going to be able to upgrade. I think I'm going to have to go another 2 years or something like that before I can upgrade. Excited for the new God of War. I suppose I am. Excited is the wrong word, but you know, I think if they, I think it depends on where they take it. Yeah, it depends on where they take it. Well, I do think that the combat system has potential. Definitely. I felt like I was moving slow. I'm supposed to be on speed knockout, right? Favorite DMC5 character theme? I don't like the music in the newer Devil May Cry games, so I haven't even heard Virgil's theme. I haven't bought him or anything, so. I don't, you know, like everybody loves the Devil Trigger song. I don't love it. I think it's okay. I got nothing against it, you know, like I think it kind of suits, it suits Nero, I suppose, and that's okay. But the Subhuman song for Dante is just like, I don't even know about it musically, but lyrically it's fucking terrible. I don't know. I should probably like fucking read the lyrics before I even talk about this kind of shit, you know. But like Dante, anything about Dante going, "I am subhuman, you cannot kill me," is just fundamentally misunderstands the entire point of the character, which is that his humanity is what made him better than Virgil in the first fucking place, you know? Like it's kind of what the first and third game are about, you know? So to go I am subhuman, what, like, how does this relate to Dante at all? He's clearly not subhuman, he's fucking superhuman. That's the whole point, you know? He's got humanity in him. So I don't get it. Maybe there's something in the lyrics that's like subversive, and you have to pick up on it and go, "Oh right, I get it. It's ironic or some shit." I don't know. But I have that playlist that I made that I posted on the Patreon with just a bunch of great music tracks, game music tracks in it, and man, I was sitting there working a few days ago, and the Ancient Castle stage theme came on, and I had my headphones on, and it was just like, I was just fucking blown away by it. I just went, Jesus Christ, you know, why does nobody? It's just so unique and great, the vibe that it creates. You can just listen to that and like just get the whole vibe of the game straight away, you know? It's great. Just a turn there. Yeah, Dianara's team is great, yeah. It's really good. I'm glad you're enjoying The Leftovers. Yeah, it's a great show. Great show. If you're enjoying it already, then you'll probably like the whole thing, because it's very consistently good from start to finish. So I think that's one of its big strengths. Doesn't overstay its welcome. And Ancient Castle stage sounds like it's from the time DMC1 was a Resident Evil game. Yeah. Yeah, it does. It does. I said you could get the whole vibe of the game. You could get half the vibe of the game from that. You get the other half of the vibe from Public Enemy, you know? But I don't know, it's just, it was mesmerizing. I don't know, it just caught me the right way that day. Just this weird piano in the distance and the fucking, I don't know. There's something about here's something, I don't know if I ever mentioned this desire in the past, but whoa, I would, in an ideal universe where I have, oh fuck's sake. Okay, I got greedy there. What am I was confused. I'm like, what am I supposed to be on? Speed Hunter. Speed. What am I supposed to be on? Speed? I'm supposed to be on speed. Okay, that's why I'm so tired. What was I saying? I can't remember guys, I'm really fucking tired. I can't remember what I was saying. What was I talking about? That May Cry 1. What was I saying? Oh yeah. I was saying, in an ideal universe where I have infinite time on my hands, I would be tempted to go back and do like an extra version of that commentary where I do just a similar run, but you know, from scratch with no new game plus shit in it, because I kind of regret not doing it that way in the first place, because it's the second half of the game was harder than the first, and the second half would have been easier. What am I saying? I'm fucking. I promise I haven't been drinking. The second half of the game was harder than the first half in my run that I did. But that would have been basically the same if I had gone and played it as a new game file, because I would have had so much money I would have been able to buy everything anyway, right? If I just get a few special bonuses, or maybe all special bonuses, then I could just buy everything that I already had anyway. So basically it would have been the same from about the halfway mark. From about the time I pick up Ifrit, maybe the next mission or two after that, it would have been the same run. So I would have only had to work extra hard to beat those first few stages. Anyway. And maybe that would have been frustrating and bad, and I could talk about that. But if I was to revisit it, I had a point that I was going to say, and it's completely fucking slipped my mind now. I got so busy prefacing the point, I've lost the point. I can't remember what it was. I can't remember. What was it I was going to say? I was talking about Ancient Castle stage. And then I was talking about Public Enemy and how it had a Resident Evil vibe. Fuck, man. I'm gonna have to watch this video back and try to remember what, because it was a good point. I had a point that I could put. Fuck's sake. Oh, somebody asked me something else, or give me something else to talk about. Saying I misrepresented the difficulty curve? No, because I was honest about the fact that it was a new game plus run, so that's acknowledged going into it at the start, so it's just a different type of playthrough, you know? Oh, I remember what I was going to say. Oh, everybody, I remember what I was going to say. Now, here's hoping that you find this entertaining, because if you don't, you just wasted like a half an hour listening to me ramble like a madman for no reason, so just prime yourself to find this point interesting. Yeah, you can kind of see the same thing less successfully in Beautiful Joe, with the music in the second episode, where it works the car horns into the music, right? So it goes beep 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 in the music, right? And I think maybe part of that is a result of maybe not having the kinds of systems that they have today, where you probably, you know, even though graphics get most of the horsepower and stuff, there's probably more dedicated hardware in each computer, in each console and each computer for audio nowadays. So you very easily then get into the spirit of going, okay, we're going to have the atmospheric audio that plays this way, and we're going to have the music that plays on this, you know, this channel, and the atmospheric, you know, the nearby sound effects of other things are going to play on this channel, and never the twain shall meet. But back in the day, maybe, you know, you only had so much audio for the attacks that were happening in the room, and you only had so much left over for the music. So it was like, let's build the atmosphere into the music. We can't afford to not have the atmosphere reflected in the music, so it's got to be in there somewhere, you know? And that's what you get. That's just a hypothesis. But I think, because I don't really feel like I see that anymore, and I feel like I saw it more back then, you know? And that's why it's built into the track. That's why you've got all the atmospheric sound effects and the woo spooky shit, but it works. It works. It's like how, oh, for God's sake. It's like how in the, what is it? There's a track in Donkey Kong Country 2, I think, that has like insect noises in it, you know? What is it? But the Bayou Boogie or something like that. It's got insect noises in it, you know? And that's kind of bad in a way, but if you can integrate it into the music a little bit, maybe that's good, you know? No, I don't think Forest Interlude has anything, but like that is kind of a good example as well, in the sense that it feels very ghostly, and that's a very ghostly level. That's the one with all the little ghostly totem poles that you jump between, isn't it? I think. I don't. That's not quite what I'm talking about, though. I am talking about just building sound effects into the music, you know. I'm supposed to be on train. I'm supposed to be on speed knockout. Why is this so hard to fucking remember? Speed knockout. We got off to a good start, winning a few matches, and then I just totally fucking blown it. So, that's a shame. Thought I never played those. What, the Donkey Kong Country games? I have, yeah. I played them a little bit back in the day. I don't think I ever finished any of them. I didn't have a Super Nintendo, so I went back and finished them up a few years ago. It was at least a few years ago now, I think. I had played a lot of the first one, but like I said, I don't know if I finished it. So if you asked me about it before, I might have just said I didn't play it because I didn't finish it, you know? I think there's one I haven't played, is there? Oh, I think I played them all, yeah. I beat 1, 2, 3, Returns, and Tropical Freeze. Do I have a favorite Nintendo console? Well, a console is really all about the games that are on it for me. So, I don't know. Maybe the Super Nintendo? I think there's a strong argument to be made that the Super Nintendo has the best library. Because it's got heavy hitters. Like, all the Nintendo consoles have at least a couple of heavy hitters on them, you know? But I think the Super Nintendo was the sweet spot between the Nintendo heavy hitters and everything else, you know? Because, well, I talked about this in the past. I don't think the library is quite as varied as the Mega Drive. I think it's like there's just more on the Mega Drive that's good. But when you factor in A Link to the Past and Super Metroid, it's just like those two alone are just such a huge fucking deal, you know? That you don't really need that many titles. But I do think it's a good. There is some other good stuff. I'm struggling to think of much right now, you know, but. Whereas you look at something like the N64, and you know it doesn't have much else to prop it up outside of Nintendo's output. That's really bad jam response. Ah, Clyde! Why would he do that to me? Why would he do that to me? Why would he do that to me? Thought Clyde was my friend, you know. GBA has SNES plus own library. Yeah, kind of. It's kind of an unfair comparison. Plus, those SNES games on the GBA are probably a lot worse than the actual versions of them, right? So, Train. Jesus. Speed knockout. Speed knockout. Speed knockout. Yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, I think I'd have to give it to the SNES. I've always had an appreciation for Super Metroid, but I feel like my appreciation for it has only grown over the last year or so. I mean, I've always thought of it as a top tier game, but I think just playing it again and playing the randomizer and digging into it a bit more and just like soaking it in and just fucking, I don't know if I talked about this before on a recent stream, maybe I did, but you know, on top of everything else, the sheer fucking atmosphere of that game. How did they do it? You know, I didn't play it back in the day. I don't think I played it at all until maybe the 2000s or something like that. So I didn't even play it in its heyday, but you play it today, and like when you land on the planet, it's just fucking oozes atmosphere. You know, how did they do it? Why aren't other games like this? You know, I know it doesn't behoove every game to focus on visuals like that. But like, it's not even a focus to the detriment of everything else, because you have all these fucking complex movement mechanics and unlockables and shit. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. I do wish it was harder. I think that's my big complaint. I wish the bosses were a bit better and that it was a bit harder overall. And not harder in the 3-hour bomb jump session hard, but you know, just a little bit harder. But it's just fucking crazy. Like, when you think about the amount of atmosphere they squeezed out of a Super Nintendo, and it was probably not long after launch, probably like a year or two after the console launched, if that. It's just crazy. We want Train Hunter. Unless we're being attacked and then we go for a counter. I am being attacked, I think, am I? I don't know. I noticed, yeah, I'm going to go for a counter because when I start getting red jammers, that's when I want to counter. When people start just spamming me with red jammers, I want to get back at them a bit. Somebody says a group of exceedingly skilled... I missed it, I can't read it, but yeah. Group of exceedingly skilled people took inspiration from the right places, and yeah, I agree, that's basically what gives you a Super Metroid, but it's just crazy. Now, that's one reason why, you know, I went into it on the latest blog post that, you know, I know I've dwelled too much on some stupid shit for the development so far. Like, you have to just think, you know, this shit was, I don't know if you can say solved, but it was done back in the Super Nintendo by just a couple of guys on a fucking, written maybe directly in assembly, you know? And I don't know. Oh, I didn't see it. How did I not see that? That should have been a win. Look, they have fucking red jammers and everything. Oh, it was 4 years after launch, was it? The soul. Getting sick of the soul buzzword. Any games from recent years which introduced new genres? I think maybe you could make an argument that Obra Dinn is that, but I don't know. Personally, I feel like, I don't even know if Lucas Pope has actually played Phoenix Wright, but personally it feels, when I play them, it feels like Obra Dinn and Papers, Please both kind of descend from Phoenix Wright, which is not a knock on them at all. They you know, arguably improve on the formula substantially, but I do think they're kind of fundamentally the same genre, whatever that genre happens to be. Induction. Well, actually, yeah, there is an argument there. You know, because it's not a deduction game. It's an induction game. Well, somebody said I need to play... Apparently I need to play Her Story and what's it called? Umineko or something like that? There's some kind of visual novel with a similar premise, I think. And maybe they're induction as well. I don't know. I haven't played them. It's the vibe I get from the way people recommended them to me. It's kind of a shame, but you do kind of get a sense of what something is. Like, you talk about a game and somebody goes, oh, you should really play this, and you go, okay, now I know that the game you're recommending has at least some similarity to what I just said, you know? It has some kind of relevance. I'm doing my one-handed play. Alright, Train Hunter. No, I have to turn around. Okay, that was the right decision. That was a good decision there. That was good. That was good. Jammers are getting a bit obnoxious. Yeah, okay. We want to counter whoever this prick is that's sending us all this junk. There, he can eat a few fucking red jammers of his own. No mercy. No fucking mercy. You send more than one red jammer my way and you're getting targeted. I think that's the new policy. Okay, round 7. Round 8 is when it starts getting difficult. If I just memorize what the inputs do, I don't even really need to know what I'm on. If I make a decision that, okay, it's the right time to be on counter, then I can just press the stick because there's no way to fuck it up. So this, I do left on the stick to counter. I don't know if that was definitely not the right choice to leave Inky alive there. That was bad, and there was too many jammers there. That was a very bad call. So I'm glad to have gotten away with that. Hotel Dusk. Yeah, I haven't played that one either, unfortunately. Seems to be quite a few visual novels with their own interesting gimmick. I just feel as though they are limiting themselves by sticking to the VN genre rather than moving away from it. Yeah, I think that's the big point in Oberdin's favour. Yeah. Have you ever studied logic academically? I mean, I wouldn't say so. I mean, it might have been touched upon at some point, but no, I wouldn't say I've ever studied logic. I as well, this is a thing. I try to avoid bloat even in the blog post, even though I think that one may have qualified as bloated, I don't know. But I was trying to decide whether I should actually try to represent some of what I was saying through mathematical language, you know, like the stuff I said about, what is it, modulo x modulo y is equivalent to x and y minus 1. You could probably write that using a mathematical formula somehow, but I hate those things. I just hate them. I can't parse them at all, you know. If you show me the exact same thing written down in pseudocode, I'll understand it immediately. But if it's in one of those diagrams, I can't fucking stand it. And I feel like people overuse them. You know, it's kind of like I'm not saying they're not useful. Like, if you're a mathematician, I'm sure that this is the way you want your stuff written because it's the fastest, best way to convey what it is you want to say. And maybe I just don't have the head for it and whatever, but I feel like there's people kind of go out of their way to use them when they don't necessarily have to, you know? And yeah, they don't make things clearer for me. They just kind of obfuscate things. So I just decided to write it down, even though it looks kind of shit. Like, the way I wrote it, it just looks like two functions and it just looks awful. It doesn't look aesthetically appealing. Like, I'll give the math stuff that it's got an aesthetic appeal to it, you know. But where it's just writing down X modulo in the word English and then some fucking brackets with Y, and you're like, what is this? You know, it just looks ugly, but at least it's clear, I think. But yeah, no, I haven't studied logic formally or anything like that. You've been racking your brain over the edge case ledge. Yeah, it's, you know, it's the kind of thing where you can solve it. I only thought of phrasing it this way after the blog post went up, which was very frustrating. But there's another way of phrasing it, which is that the height map stuff is really cool, right? And I'm almost certainly going to use it. It seems like a really good, solid way of doing what it is I want to do. Very quickly and all that, right? So I'm very happy with it. It's the way it's done in Sonic, I know that for a fact. I'm sure other games have used it, but I think part of the problem is that when you're using slopes, that height map, see, it looks like objective information, right? It looks like it's conveying an objective reality about the world of the game, but it's kind of not, because that reality is fluid depending on, say, whether the player is in the air or on the ground, right? Or close to the ground. Because if you're on the ground, you want to be allowed to slip into a slope. But if you jump into the corner of an open slope, you want to treat that as though, kind of as though it was a solid wall that you can't get through until you're above it, you know? So even though those it's the exact same tile with the exact same information and looks the same visually, our player characters' subjective use of that objective information changes, right? So it's not as clear cut as saying this one is a slope and that's it. It kind of depends on their state. So I am beginning to maybe accept or settle for the reality that whatever solution I come up with may be very messy in the end, because I'm just beginning to think that there's not actually a very simple way of representing that. There is something happening under the hood that's not quite as clear cut as just looking at a few tiles on a page makes you believe it should be, you know? But yeah. Fuck, Clyde. Blinky must die. We're on Blinky must die mode. Was it a good idea to wait for him to come out? No, probably not. Maybe. Oh, maybe this pays off. Oh my god, that paid off. Oh, I didn't mean to leave Clyde alive. We're on round 10. So we're in a relatively safe zone. And also, there's a lot of medals, which I think protect me from bad things. I'm hopeful this is a win. I'm hopeful. I'm not getting any junk either, which maybe means they're struggling. Oh, greedy. I left that one to the last second. That was pretty greedy. I could have lost there. That was like a frame. That was in a frame, you know? Have I thought about analysing the Sonic series like I did Mario and Zelda? Nah. Well, I'm not making videos at the minute anyway, so. But no, I don't think Sonic is a series I would do. I haven't played many Sonic games. I played the first few, and I played Mania and a couple others along the way, but... Yeah, that was a totally unnecessary level of risk at the end. That must have been like one frame off death. It just seemed like the instant the pill was picked up, Inky was dead. Have you watched any good movies or TV shows recently? I haven't. I can't think of any. Nothing worth recommending exactly anyway. ever think about analyzing anything other than games? Yeah, I do sometimes, yeah. I don't intend to, but you know. I would like to talk about things like The Leftovers or Girl's Last Tour or The Sopranos or whatever else, maybe some films, but I don't know. That's the first time I've felt awake this whole session there. I feel like I made a good call there. I turned around because I saw the jammers coming. So I went the other way. Oh my god, no, Inky, you sneaky fucking bastard, blending in. Oh man, I'm missing turns all over the place. Alright, there we go, we're back. Okay, just a little interruption there. That might net me a KO, maybe? That was a good chomp. Yeah, there it is. I'm in a counter mood here. That's a lot of red jammers and I don't like it. I think the Joy-Con wasn't quite snappy enough there on that one. I think I have a kind of... Oh! Come on now. Come on now. Does the pause when eating the first ghost overstay its welcome to you? No, I wouldn't say it does. Not in this game. I do tend to dislike those kinds of hit stop effects, though. In 2D Mario games, I just don't like the way it pauses to power you up. I can kind of understand it because Mario changes size, and if you're like right near a brick, maybe that could be disorientating. But I don't know. I've never liked it. It was kind of my fault. Kind of. I do think one genuine criticism there. I'm gonna say that I probably could have avoided that. I don't know. I feel like the warning time on the red jammers seems kind of variable or something. Maybe it has to do with the network connection, or maybe I'm just imagining it. It's the kind of thing I would look into if I was making a video or something, just to see, because that one felt shorter than usual, and maybe there's a reason why. Maybe it has to do with what round you're on or something. But I think, and again, I don't want to like freeze frame the thing and make sure I'm not talking out of my ass on this, but I think the way that red jammers appear is not so good in the way that they flash, where they flash in a way that they're not visible a lot of the time when it's supposed to be warning you that it's about to appear, but it's kind of like, it seems like it's invisible longer than it's visible at times. And I don't think that's a good way to signal danger. You see the way they're flashing in, and they actually just flash with a periodic thing? I think the red jammers come in differently, and it's not as clear as it should be. It should be even more clear than the white ones, but it's not. It's my impression, anyway. Yeah, I talked a little bit about Returnal earlier. I haven't seen much of it, but I like Housemarque's previous games, and it looks pretty good from what I saw. Like I said, I didn't see much. I think my hope for Returnal, I know it's getting a bit more attention than their games usually do, although I think Resogun got quite a bit of attention when it came out, because it was at a similar time in the PS4's life cycle, and there wasn't much else, and I think maybe it was a PS Plus game as well or something, but they did get a decent amount of traction on Resogun from what I remember. They seem to be getting more attention on Returnal, and I just hope that it hasn't given up too much of its arcade sensibility. You know what I mean? Like, I hope that that's not the reason why it's getting attention, is because it's just like, it's just not a Housemarque game anymore. You know, I don't want to pigeonhole them. They should be free to make whatever they want to make. But I just hope it represents things that I like about their games, rather than what sells. You know, like it was clear they made a post a while back about the arcade is dead blog post that they did. I don't begrudge them that at all. You know. They made a bunch of great arcade games, and they said, right, that's enough, we'd like to do something else and hopefully have some more commercial success with it, and it's hard to be upset about that. But I don't know, I just hope they haven't given up too much, you know what I mean? It seems like they haven't, from what little I've seen. Is that going to kill me? I think it would, so I'm going to go around. I got lucky there that the ghosts didn't go my way there. Ah! You jammy bastard! Look at him! He's fucking pinned in with a bunch of fucking red jammers. You fucking jammy bastard. Returnal is pretty faithful to their DNA, in my opinion. That's good to hear. It's good to hear. Run and gun, constant action, trying to do better than your last run. That sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. I don't mind that it's like, I don't mind that it's a roguelite or whatever you want to call it. That's fine. I don't think that's outside of, I keep getting this wrong, speed, knockout. I don't think that's outside of their wheelhouse at all, you know? So, it sounds pretty good to me. I do think it's the kind of game where I would probably prefer to play it mouse and keyboard. But I would also worry if that would negatively affect the balance. You know, maybe it's made for controllers or something. But Yeah. Whatever. Started playing Alien Soldier because of the videos and you're loving it. That's great. It's great. Yeah, I think it's a great game. I think once you kind of conquer it, it's one of those games that you can just play forever. You know, it's a game that you bank. You put it in the bank and you go, right, that's great. I can play Alien Soldier again whenever I want and have fun with it, you know? And it's really nice to have games like that. Do you have any thoughts about putting a quarter in as a mechanic? Do you mean like in old arcade games or something? I don't know. It just calls to mind that there was this big... I think I mentioned this on stream before, but whatever. There was this big... I'm gonna start a new policy, right? Which is, if I think I may have said something on stream before, I'm just gonna fucking say it, because saying that, oh, I may have said this, just wastes time, right? And if I'm gonna say the fucking thing again anyway, I'm gonna say it again anyway. So, you know, if you're on the streams, you're bound to hear something again. It's just the way it is. But there was this, I think it was this year-end thing in Japan where they talked to a bunch of creators, and like they kind of give these one-line reasons, like these one-line things about what the next year is going to be like or something. And Kamiya did one, and instead of a line, it was like a fucking manifesto about arcade games and how, like, there's a collection. I think so. It was in Japanese, and I couldn't really read it, but I translated some of it, and I tried to get through a little bit of it myself, and you know, I kind of got the gist of it. Which was, he was talking about this old arcade collection that he was playing, some Namco collection or something like that, and he was giving out because it doesn't have the insert coin. It doesn't have the insert coin thing, like the way if you play a Neo Geo. I think the Neo Geo home versions have this as well, where you have to, whatever. You know, you've played arcade ports where you have to actually press a dedicated button to get the insert coin thing to go up, and apparently this collection didn't have that. And he was railing against it, going that, you know, it's not really the same as when you're in the arcade and you have to put money down for your attempt and blah blah blah. And then I think he went on to further extrapolate that, like, even in these kind of arcade emulation things, when you press the button to put the coin in, it's not quite the same either. And if I remember right, and if the translation was correct, he said how he set up some kind of arcade thing in the Platinum Games office, and he swaps out the boards from time to time, and people have to pay real money to play them, and then they use the money to, like, buy snacks for the office or some shit, you know. And yeah, so he had this big fucking treatise on it. Myself, I don't know. I don't actually know that there is that much of a difference. I think it does make you fight harder for every life, obviously. It makes you play the game in a different way, but I think you can largely go into a game with the mentality that you are going to approach it that way. Like, I've talked about this before, that's how I approached Alien Soldier, even though Alien Soldier's not an arcade game. I played it on super hard, and when I ran out of lives, I just started and played the whole game over from scratch, and I actually had a lot of fun doing that. So you can go about games that way. I don't know. I question it. Like, something like Ikaruga, you know, I've no doubt that Ikaruga is a really well put together game. I cannot imagine playing that in an arcade. I cannot imagine putting money down on it and walking away and feeling like it was a worthwhile use of time, because you can put a lot of hours into that game. I think I've played it maybe 10 hours or something, and at best I can do pretty well on the first level, and even then I can't do well on the bit where there's tons of tiny little ships that you had that kind of like, there's a bit towards the end where two big ships appear and a bunch of tiny ships appear, and if you want to do that part optimally, you need extremely precise movement to individually shoot a bunch of ships in the right order. I can't do that even after playing it for how many hours. And I've never finished a run because I just go back to the start and I try to get a good score. I don't just try to survive. I try to, play. But like the amount of credits that I would have had to put in to get even that far is just astonishing. I would have spent so much money, and I don't think it plays well that way. But yeah, it did release in arcades originally, right? I think. What's that? I'm trying to read that fucking thing. Somebody said, have I seen a phrase? Coin... I can't... I haven't seen it anyway. I haven't seen the phrase. I totally lost track of myself. I was lucky to not die there. I was on completely the opposite side of the fucking map to where I thought I was. I want to counter here. I'm getting a lot of jammers. These are some really bad spawns. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hang out up here. Nah. Oh, for fuck's sake. Fuck that guy, whoever sent me all that. I hope he's dead now. Still on counter, that's good. I seem to get more KOs when I do counter. It might be worth just fucking swapping over to counter at some point. I haven't been eating enough ghosts though. Yeah, that's okay. I'm gonna go for this even though it's a little bit risky. Nah, it was a bad call. That's okay. We got away with it. Maybe it wasn't such a bad call. There was absolutely no need. There was no fucking need to be greedy there. Lost that for no reason. No reason. I think that guy has a Pac-Man name. Something about eating something? I'm out for blood, yeah. I lost for no reason. That was just a bad loss. That was a lot of red jammers to get at once. He must have eaten a big train there. But it was just... It was bad. It was bad. I could have been in a bad situation even if I hadn't been greedy, because if I'd eaten the fruit and all those jammers spawned in immediately afterwards, that would have been bad too. So maybe it was just a good match and I just lost because, you know, the guy was good. I don't know. No, it doesn't seem to be significantly more difficult to win. I am not playing well. And, like, yeah, case in point, I could have died there. Maybe the way that I manipulated Pac-Man changed the ghost behavior in a way that was predictable, but if it was pure fucking luck on my end. I haven't been playing well and I've still won a few, so... I would say I'm at 60% power level right now. I'm 60% powered up. Or powered down, because I'm just fucking sleepy. Hello, Inca. Hope you're alright. Yeah, it is hard to tell how well other people are playing, yeah. You can kind of get a sense for it based on the number of red gemmers. The end of that last round, for him to send so many red gemmers at once shows that he has a clue, you know? He got a large train and just demolished it. And that's not so easy to do at the point of the game we were at. So... yeah, generally speaking, it's hard to... ah, for fuck's sake. We just wasted a round. Yeah, I really do seem to get more KOs when I go for counter. Fuck's sake. Alright, give me a second here. Poop. Killed by poop. Have I seen the end of Evangelion? I have. I don't remember much about it. I liked it. But I like the ending of the original series more. I know you can consider them complementary, so that's fine. But if I had to pick one... Somebody in the chat said congratulations, and I was like, what? What did I do? I don't understand. It's an Evangelion thing. It's an Evangelion thing. You wouldn't get it. You wouldn't get it. I don't even watch anime, and I know the congratulations from Evangelion. Yeah. I know. Ooh. Nearly got me there. Like I said before, it's a smaller problem than I thought it would be, but I do still find it strange that they spawn on boundaries like that. It's just a strange decision to allow that. It would be so easy to snap them onto a tile. I'm glad I'm on counter. That couldn't have gone any better. Let's not fuck this up now. Let's not be too greedy. Whoa. I don't feel great about that one. I mean, let's not say I would have lost otherwise, but that was a lucky round 9 or whatever it was, where they all lined up like that. So don't feel too bad, Kobe. I don't know if I could say what the theme is when I can't even remember it. So I don't know. I can't really give a solid opinion on that. I'd have to watch it again. It was many years ago when I watched it. You didn't see that. Why are you responding to that? I told you didn't see it. You didn't see it. Nothing happened though. I'm curious how bad the feedback is on the thing. I feel like it must be pretty bad because I can hear this really clearly. I would almost think it's coming out of the fucking TV or something. I have a codec, you know, it stimulates the small bones of your ear. But I'm just doing it through my neck instead. It's 5 a.m. It's kind of interesting to hear, you know, when I start streaming and I start hearing all the different time zones. It's 1:30 here, I think. I don't know how much to trust technology anymore. I'm that beaten down, so I don't know if I can trust any of the clocks are set right. Nah, we're just gonna have to pull the trigger on that fruit, I think. Terrible, terrible idea, but I got away with it. Strange behavior there. What's the story? Why are they freaking out like that? Ah, missed the turn. You lose. You fuck up. You fuck up one input, and you lose the game of Pac-Man. You fuck up one input, and you lose the game of Pac-Man. This game needs a rewind feature. So when I make a missed input, I can rewind and not miss the input. Yeah, I'm very tired. Put it as the opening quote. What was that called again? Somebody had a word for it. I can't remember. There's a word for that, the opening quote on a... You know, I can't remember what it is. I think this is implicit in what I said earlier, but I'm pretty sure the numbers, the combo numbers, don't mean anything. I'm just keeping it active as a good timer. It just seems like a good pace to progress through the game at. I think I'm gonna stop after a game or two more because I don't know. I feel like I don't have the energy to talk and play at the same time. It's not going very well. I basically just want to give up talking and play Pac-Man, but I don't want to subject you to that. I feel like there's, you know, people are going to tune in or they're going to watch the VOD and they're going to be like, you know, oh, I hope Matthew has something interesting to say, because that's the only reason I watch these streams, is because he fucking says something occasionally that's worthwhile. And then I'm like, no, just gonna play Pac-Man at a reasonable level for an hour. Enjoy. You're just listening for the Pac-Man noises at this point. They are great sound effects. They really are great sound effects. I mean, it's, you don't need to swap these out. You don't need to swap them out even after all these years. You just keep them. Although they probably did redo them. They probably did redo them. If not for this game, then at some point down the line, to increase the fidelity of it a little bit, you probably would have redone them by now if you were somebody working at Namco. You're like trying to figure out how to replicate all the original Pac-Man noises on new synthesizers or some shit. It sounds like it could be an interesting but also very boring and frustrating job. It's probably child's play for somebody who knows how to deal with audio, I suppose. It's just not my thing. Very greedy timing on that, as usual. I probably should have been on... No, I shouldn't have been on counter, actually, because it's been relatively uneventful, so... I was tempted to swap to the bottom right there when they were up top, but... Fuck it. Blinky must die. That's the golden rule. Blinky must die. Oh, I did the thing. Oh no, but I lost anyway. No! I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Yeah, the echo is because of the new audio setup that doesn't fucking work. There's a big rant about it at the start of the stream. Fucking disaster. I have the headphones on now. It's really loud. It's gotta be unhealthy levels of loud. Can I put them, I'll rest them on my head like a fucking bandana and maybe I'll get a bit less sound. I'm wearing the headphones like a bandana now. It's comfortable at least. Maybe I look cool as well. Do I? I don't know. No, I don't. Alright. Once you start using once you start using speed at the start of a match, you really don't want to do without it. This actually kind of works. The bandana approach kind of works. You must be getting less feedback, right? It kind of works. I can hear the game more clearly now. Oh, you meant the in-game sound. Oh, for fuck's sake. Alright, let's say we got one more match after this one and then we'll call it quits for the evening. And I'll try to stream again sometime much sooner than the previous. I didn't mean to leave it so long between streams. And I'll try to be awake. Oh fuck! Train hunter! Oh my god! Oh, for fuck's sake! I'm not counting that one. Two more games. Two more games. Two more games. This actually kind of works for me, I gotta say, the bandana approach. Do I get infinite ammo? I get infinite speed. Train hunter. Oh, the fucking thing slipped. Alright, we're getting KOs. I probably should try to have... try to have some more out-of-the-box fun with this game. Just for your sake as a fucking viewer. Maybe next time I play, I'll do a couple of runs where I try to get the most speed possible and just plow into things because I can't fucking control it anymore. But maybe we'll stumble upon a good strategy. We branch out a little bit. Missed the pill, but it was worth it. Oh, I'm asleep at the whale. I saw it and everything. I don't know why I didn't fucking pick up the fucking thing. Alright, last one. Can we win? Maybe we just go for one more win, do we? What do we do here? No, I gotta call it somewhere. I said it was gonna be a short stream. It's been 2 hours. Have I seen how Xbox FPS boost is implemented? It's done at a DLL level that increases frame rate and bypasses frame rate dependent issues without the need of the original developers. That sounds good. Sounds good. I haven't looked into it. No, it seems like they're doing great stuff with the backwards compatibility. It sounds sad. I'm not sad. I'm happy to be playing Pac-Man again. Because I haven't been playing it. But and I am somewhat happy it's possible for me to win. I'm glad, like, while I do wish that it was a bit harder, I haven't even got that many wins that I'm talking about. But, you know, I've been getting top 3 all the time and stuff. I don't know, I'm glad, I am kind of glad that I'm still in the game, you know what I mean? Still in the running. I feel like maybe it's just a fucking excuse, but I feel like I could be banking more wins if I was awake and focusing on it. I don't know, maybe it will, maybe if I continue streaming it, it will be like this, because maybe I need to, stop talking. And not that I've been saying anything interesting today. I don't think I said anything worthwhile at all. But, yeah. Who the fuck knows? What am I saying? Who knows? I'm not sad though. I am tired though. I am very, very tired. We're gonna come up with a name like Procyon. They're just named after stars. I considered using code names that had more to do with what they were actually about, but it's better instead to just have a scheme that you use, and that way the actual substance of the thing is hidden behind the code name, you know, it doesn't actually mean anything. Like, Proxima has nothing to do with proximity, it's not, except for what I said about it potentially being the easiest one to complete, maybe. But the actual game, like, that word doesn't mean anything. It seems, I mean, I'm not doubting that they've done this for frame rate dependent games. If you're talking about it, it seems like it's probably not quite the magic they might be selling it as, but it's a good thing regardless. Obviously, there is, like, it's possible to change things like that. I mean, it's not really the same thing, but when I was doing the Teo form mod for the Wonderful 101, part of that is the enemy turbo, which kind of changes the rate that the enemies move at, you know what I mean? That is more customized for the game at hand, but I have to go in and individually find those values, you know? But, like, it is possible to change the speed of some things and not other things, depending on how the game is set up. We won, but fuck it, we'll do another one. Whatever. Could leave it on a win. No, I didn't talk about Nintendo's, was it Game Garage or something like that? I don't know, it seems like the kind of thing I would have loved if I was a kid. But I'm not a kid. I'm only a child mentally. So yeah, I'm happy it's out. I'm kind of jealous, you know. I'm kind of jealous of kids growing up today, the way that they just get cool shit like that and they can fuck around. I mean, it just was not easy back in my day. The closest I ever came to anything like that was something like the fucking Net Yarose or whatever it was called for the PS2. I think I was around 10 when that came out, and I managed to make the screen turn a different color or something. It was like you were writing in BASIC or something. It was just a whole different ballgame. And, you know, you can say, oh, it's just some visual programming language bullshit that nobody actually uses in the real world, and that's true. But you know, if you're a kid, like, that's a good way of building up your critical thinking, I would say. I have to imagine it's good for them. You know, it's not actual programming. Well, it technically is programming, I suppose. It's not like they're learning a language and they're learning how to make a for loop or whatever. But they are learning something. There's something to it, I think. I don't know. I just wish I had an easy entry point like that. If there was an easy entry point for me back when I was that age, like around 9 or 10 or something, I wasn't aware of it. So I probably would have wasted a lot of hours on that when I was young, just fucking around. And I wouldn't have come out with anything good, but that's okay. That's not really the point at that age. Scripting, yeah. Well, yeah. Supposed to be on train hunter, right? Or maybe counter? Do some counter. This speed doesn't feel anywhere near as uncontrollable to me as it did when I first started playing. Have I actually improved that much? Or is there something weird here? Because it almost feels sluggish right now. Sluggish like my brain. That's one instance where an exact count of how many pellets were left would have helped quite a lot. I would have had time to parse the exact count and decide on a route because of it. And that could have been the difference between life or death. It wasn't, but it could have been. I only died because I missed a fucking turn. Come on. We'll do a couple more. Yeah, we're still going. Look, if you're watching the VOD or some shit, or you're watching live, just assume I'm not going to say anything interesting or useful. Whatever. I'm just going to play some Pac-Man, and you can watch if you like. I'll just play for a little bit more. Just one or two more, a couple more. Maybe this will be the last one. I'm just going to call it quits when I call it quits. You're not even going to get warning. The stream is just going to be over, and you're going to be like, why did I watch? I'm not going to have an answer for you. It's hard to believe that there's something like 16 people gone already. Maybe the connections are just worse now or something. I know I've had some bad early deaths today, but even so. I don't know. It's the kind of thing where it can be kind of deceiving. I mean, I had what, 2 deaths in like the 80s today? And it's because I'm groggy and, you know, blah blah blah. But also, that only needs to happen like once in 100 games for you to be that guy, you know what I mean? For it to all even out. I don't know. Is there any point playing this game? Are the 99 games just a big trick? Or what? I like the start music and the end music more than the middle music. By the way, a couple of people have mentioned the Zero Escape games while I've been streaming this. I don't know if maybe you knew this all along, but I think I looked at the credits and I think it was the Zero Escape composer did the soundtrack for this game. Unless I have the name wrong. Shinji Hosoe, I think? Pretty sure that's him. I think he does. I think he's a freelance guy. It seems like a lot of Japanese composers are freelance these days. I don't know if that was always the case or it's just something that's happened, but that's what you get for sending me jammers, fucker. They need to add an option to not target mathematosis, or else people are just gonna keep getting murdered. You have 16 hours to comply. Look at that. That was a juicy one. Yeah, and there's the KO. You get a juicy one and the KO follows swiftly after. I quite like counter. It's vindictive, but it's satisfying because you know that they attacked you. They must have attacked you, so I feel vindicated or something. Oh, that's bad. Okay, it's Clyde. Clyde's... No! 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 Clyde. Just because I have nothing else to say, when you're in those little tunnels right above the ghost pen, in the beginning of a match they can't go up there, because that's how it works in the original Pac-Man. They actually can't go up through these tunnels, they can only go down through them. Or, I don't know, maybe there's certain conditions where they can go. I'm not sure the full extent of it, but... So you'll see, at a certain point in the match, some arrows will appear showing that that limitation has changed, it's been removed. So when I juke Blinky at the start and I go into that little place, it might look risky depending on what the ghosts are doing, but it's actually pretty safe. I'm not getting attacked, so I see no need to go on to counter just yet. But if I start seeing some red jammers, there we go, counter. Fuck you. This guy is about to get hit now in a second, and he's not gonna like it. You're not gonna like this now. Don't make me do this to you. Now he's not gonna like that. Well, he hasn't died. So maybe I'm the one that's in trouble here. Well, maybe whoever it was has died and I just didn't get the knockout. Maybe that's possible. I don't know. The jammers seem to have died off a little bit. That's a lot of white jammers. Come on. That's a really bad route down to the fruit. Really bad. I'm glad I'm on counter because whoever this is deserves a slap. No, we got a fruit. We gotta go for the fruit. Fuck. Dead. Nope. Oh, after all that. One of those guys was good. I just missed who they were. Somebody there was good. You should exchange diss tracks with your opponents. Okay, we really will call it quits soon. I feel pretty relaxed right now. I feel like I don't have to say something. Even though I am. What are my thoughts? I don't know, I'm just absorbing. I'm just absorbing. I'm becoming the Pac-1. I wonder if you know nobody is targeting you, which does occasionally happen. I've had some very quiet games at times. If you know nobody is targeting you, maybe it's worth not changing what you're targeting so as not to disrupt the fucking targeting equilibrium that's going on. This is a fairly peaceful game right now. We got one red jammer there, but that's not really anything. Get a move on, get a move on. Okay, I was lucky they changed direction there. I don't like being lucky though, I like being good. That was not so good. Just gonna go for it. There we go. Yeah, I talked a bit about Neuralink before. Not a fan. Not a fan. What other games do you think you've experienced a fugue state? I don't know if I would call it a fugue state. I don't know what that is. But my Neuralink thing is that, you know, in an ideal world it might be a good thing, but I don't know, I don't. There needs to be some kind of prohibition on altering people's minds with that. Or I don't know, very strict regulation or something. Because, you know, you look at what fucking... You just look at what companies get up to and it's like... There's no limits, you know, there's no limit. There just isn't a limit on what can quote-unquote be spun as a thing that for you to like about a product, you know? Like, you're supposed to enjoy that they fucking do a bunch of extra bullshit without you knowing about it. So yeah, but I do think because I've used it probably more than once in a mainline video, I do think it provides an interesting thought experiment about how games generally work if you imagine what it's like to control them with your mind, and because that is how you really control them, and yeah, and it's the way things are going. Regardless of what I say, it's just the way things are going to go. So, whatever. Oh, and just to reiterate what I said before, I think that there are some, you can imagine some really good benefits to the some really huge benefits to the technology. Like the example I gave before was, you know, you can imagine if Stephen Hawking had access to something like that, the world would just have a wealth of extra knowledge because he would have been able to write faster, and you know, it just would have been great. So there's a lot of positive to be said in that regard, but I don't know. It's not for me. You got a question as well. Let's say the technology works, or works to the point where they're willing to sell it. You know, is it really going to improve your life? You know, has my TV improved my fucking life? My gut says no on that one. It was supposed to. I'm wearing my headphones like a fucking bandana right now. Now imagine that with a human mind. Where we're like, what's the equivalent, right? I'm dead. Can't see myself getting out of this. No. Wow, although... Ah, well, I put up a good fight there. I put up a good fight at the end of that. I can't be disappointed there. I got a lot of red jammers. I should have been on counter. I was busy talking. I should have been on counter. And you distracted me. The fugue state, when you disassociate. Yeah, sorry, I forgot about that. It happens with various games, but I think the big one for me is Wipeout. I haven't played Wipeout in a long time, but that would be one where, especially in zone mode, where you just go in and just 15 minutes just passes and it's like nothing happened, you know. I was somewhere else the whole time. In an enjoyable way. I mean that in a good way. And yeah, I could definitely see myself getting into that with Pac-Man. When I go quiet, you can pretty much assume that's what's happening. I don't know if I can really quite capture it on stream. It is kind of happening, but at the same time, I still feel compelled to break out of it. There's like something tugging at me and going, you have viewers, you know, entertain, like look over. You have a second now where you could look over and maybe grab a question. So you should. It's not good. Here's what my intuition is telling me, and I don't know if it's true. A ghost is worth a certain amount of garbage, and that amount increases with each round that you go through. So if you send a ghost on round 1, it's worth like 1 point. If you send it on round 2, it's worth 2 points. And if you send them in a short span of time, they stack together and add up to make red jammers. That's my feeling about how this works. But it's crazy that I still don't know for sure after all this time. But I'm beginning to think that the trimming that I do, I tend to trim away at the I'm getting a bit of junk here, so let's send some back. I tend to kind of trim away at the train to make sure that I'm not wasting any of the little ghost pickups. This is terrible. This is terrible. I tend to trim away at the train to make sure I'm not wasting any of the ghost pickups. Well, maybe that's not the right thing to be thinking about. Maybe you need to be thinking about eating the train all in one go. Okay. Maybe this is the last one. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. If it's a win, it's definitely the last one. We'll call it there. If it's not, maybe we do one more. We do a one more until we get a pack one. I do wish I could customize the music. And maybe they should have more than three tracks, and they should just let you choose which ones play at which times. Because I would probably switch off this middle one if I could, and just keep the other one going for longer or something. I'm pretty sure I said this in the Dust Force thing, but like, I'm a fan of pairing difficult gameplay with relaxing music. I think that works really well. There's something about that that just makes a game easy to ingest for a long period of time. For me, anyway. I know you need to ramp it up towards the end, but when 50 people is not enough to go, oh shit, get it together. I suppose it provides a sense of accomplishment for people who can't rank as high as me consistently, and that's nice. But that's what I'm saying, it should be an option. You just turn it off. I don't know. You could ask for options on a million things. I probably should shut my fucking mouth, because I'm probably going to put like the absolute bare minimum of options into a game if it ever releases in the first place. This has been a quiet one. It's good to an extent, but you can see that I haven't got... I should be on Hunter and I should be on Train. Fuck's sake. But you can see that I haven't got many... Nah, that's probably because of the options I had selected. Fuck it. Never mind. Oh, come on. Yes. If that red jammer had gone the other way, I would have died. I would have had no recourse. Okay, last one. I mean it this time. I mean it for real. Final. No take backsies. The last game. Last game. Win or lose, this is the last one. I mean, even if I come 98th, the only way this isn't the last one is if I somehow get 99th place. Because I think we passed our peak. We had a little moment there where we started winning. We won a couple at the start, and then we lost, and then we won a couple, and now we're just past the peak, and it's time to stop. I do sleep occasionally, yeah. Yeah. I have been known to sleep on occasion. Train Hunter, okay. We have a decent player. It's either multiple people or it's a decent person attacking me. Oh, I kind of want this one to be over already so I can go. It's definitely the last one, okay? Oh, no, 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 not like this. Oh, I regret it. I regret everything. I regret everything. I regret it all. Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. No, no, no. No, I'm actually genuinely not doing another one. It really is time to call it quits. It is time to call it quits. We're calling it there. That's the end of the show, everybody. Well, I don't know if I should have streamed at all, because I don't know what the fuck I was even doing most of the time. So, there you go. Hope you enjoyed that. There's my headphones. Can you hear that? There we go. I don't know what this fucking audio thing is a disaster. It's a complete disaster. But I'm gonna live with it for now, because I think the alternatives are even worse. But yeah. Time to pack it in. Yeah. Alright. Thanks, everybody. It was a good stream. You're a fucking liar. You're a liar. It wasn't a good... Let's just be honest. It wasn't a good stream. It wasn't so good. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Maybe the next one will be... Tune in next time to see if the next one is better. Alright, I'm gonna stop. And I'm gonna go get some sleep. And I'll hopefully get some sleep. I haven't been sleeping well. But yeah, I'll talk to you all again soon, okay? Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.